Welcome back, children. We are continuing the lesson biological classification. 5 kingdom classification by Whittaker. 5 kingdom classification by Whittaker. We have already completed kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista. Now we are coming to kingdom Fungi. Kingdom Fungi. Kingdom fungi are multicellular heterotrophs. Multicellular heterotrophs. We have seen kingdom Monera are unicellular prokaryotes. Kingdom Protista are unicellular eukaryotes. Now, kingdom fungi are multicellular heterotrophs. They are multicellular, means higher forms. Many cells are there. Heterotrophs, you know the meaning. They get the food from the dead and decaying material or other sources that are together we call heterotrophs. Now, the notable feature of the fungi are that they are heterotrophs and their cell walls are made up of a complex polysaccharide called chitin. Cell walls are made up of chitin. This is a unique feature of kingdom fungi. Then another unique feature, all are heterotrophs, as I told you. Heterotrophs may be parasites, maybe saprophytes, or symbiotic associated or symbionts. All these are coming under this heterotrophs. Right. Parasites, everybody knows it, live in the bodies of other organisms and they derive the food. Most of the fungi, are saprophytes. They derive food from dead and decaying matter. Parasites are very rare in fungi, which cause disease in human beings and other animals. But there are some diseases like ringworm disease, ring spot, white spot, or ringworm disease caused by certain fungi. And they also cause many diseases in plants and they destroy properties. Saprophytes, you know that, and symbiotic associates. Saprophytes, they feed on dead and decaying material, for example, agaricus or mushrooms. Agaricus or mushrooms are saprophytes. Then symbiotic association, they live in mutual relationship with other organisms. For example, lichen, LICHEN, in which fungi live in symbiotic association with algae. That you will study at the end of the chapter details symbiotic association. So symbiosis means, or symbiotic association means, example, lichen, in which algae and fungi live together in mutual benefit. Then another important aspect of this fungi is that their plant body. The plant body of the fungi. The plant body of the fungi is called mycelium. MyCelium. Mycelium consists of very delicate or tender, thin, thread-like structure. For example, you can see single thread-like, a very thin, slender, thread-like structure. This thin, slender, thread-like structure we can call hyphae. So, hyphae are interwoven mass of slender thread-like structure, hypha, and that together for the entire hypha together form mycelium. That is the plant body of fungus. Okay. You might have seen the pickling medium on the surface of the pickling medium, white mesh-like appearance developed that are mycelium. You can see that. When ginger or potato decompose or decay in the soil, you can see that white patches develop, white color, that are interwoven mass of hyphae, mycelium. So fungi, the plant body is called mycelium, and that contains interwoven mass of hyphae. And the hyphae, if I draw, there are two types of hyphae. A hyphae with many nucleus, without the cross-wall formation. See, a tubulate fungi, tubulate hyphae. So this is called aseptate hyphae, aseptate. Hyphae without a cross-wall. Septum means cross-wall. Aseptate means without a cross-wall. So there is no cross-wall. And multicellular. Such a multicellular aseptate hyphae is called cenocytic hyphae. Cenocytic. So what is cenocytic hyphae? Aseptate multicellular hyphae. That is one type of hyphae. Now the next type of hyphae you can compare septate hyphae. Hyphae with the cross walls like this. Hyphae with the cross walls. Maybe unicellular or multicellular. So those with the cross walls are called septate hyphae. S-C-P-T-A-T-E. So hyphae are two types: septate, aseptate. The aseptate hyphae with the multinucleus is called cenocytic hyphae. That is another feature of fungi. Now, fungi are economically useful to man up to certain extent. Fungi are used for making cheese, then Roquefort cheese. That is a type of cheese that you can see in various cartoons. Roquefort cheese, Swiss cheese, that are made using fungi and bacteria. So there are useful fungi as well, but mostly the fungi cause damage and diseases to humans. Then another feature of fungi is their reproduction. Fungi usually reproduces three ways: vegetative reproduction, vegetatively, asexually, and sexually. There are three ways of reproduction. Usually vegetative reproduction by fragmentation of the hyphae. Hyphae can be fragmented, means they will be broken down into simple pieces, and each piece of hyphae fragments can grow into new. Suppose these are the fragments, small fragments. They can grow into mycelium, total plant body with a lot of hyphae. That is vegetative reproduction. Asexual reproduction is very complicated in fungi. It can be used to asexual reproduction takes place by flagellated spores or non-flagellated spores, or motile spores and non-motile spores. Motile spores. Motile spores, you can see zoospore. Zoospore. Z-W-O-S-P-O-R-E. Non-motile spores are there. Non-motile spores means they cannot move. Non-motile spores. That is Conidia. One example. Then another one, aplanospores. Aplanospores. All these are non-motile spores. So, reproduction in fungi is three: vegetative reproduction, asexual reproduction, and sexual reproduction. Vegetative reproduction by fragmentation of hyphae. The hyphae fragments and give rise to new hyphae from each fragment. Then asexual reproduction by motile spores called zoospores. They are non-motile spores like Conidia and aplanospores. Conidia and aplanospores. Sexual reproduction is interesting in fungi. During sexual reproduction, two hyphae, suppose these are the two hyphae. Two hyphae are there. Two hyphae, each hyphae make gamete by protoplasmic fusion. I mean, the gametes from each hyphae. What is gamete? Gametes are unlike the gametes of higher organisms. It is only the collection or bundle or union of what is called protoplasm, a combination of protoplasm. The protoplasm combine together and form the gamete. We call male gamete or clustine habit. Clustine. And this one is minus strain. So these two strains, clustine exchange this, they will come together. These two hyphae come together. And these gametes will fuse. Gametes will fuse together and form zygote or zygospore. Zygote or zygospore. Why we call zygospore? Because this spore will not germinate now. Because during unfavorable condition, the zygote, you have studied in other classes or other topics, that the zygote is something that formed by the fusion of the male and female gametes, and it is soon after the formation of zygote, it will germinate or divide and goes to the next stage. But here, zygospore does not germinate. They can remain for a long time because they are covered by a cyst-like covering. That is why they are called a zygospore. They are really spore-like, right? So, on favorable condition, zygospore germinate and form the new organisms. Now, in reproduction, there are two steps we can see. First, when the two gametes fuse together, first cytoplasm fuse, that is called the plasmogeny. Plasmogeny. So, in the case of sexual reproduction in fungi, the first step, the two gametes fuse their cytoplasm only. That is called the plasmogeny. And after the fusion of cytoplasm, certain period of dormancy, the nucleus will fuse. That is called karyogeny. After karyogeny, you can see zygospore is formed. Zygospore. Now zygospore divided by mitosis or meiosis. Zygospore divided by meiosis because zygospore is diploid because two hyphae, their chromosomes, haploid chromosomes. When we call haploid chromosome, the two hyphae, two gametes fuse together and form the diploid. We have studied this diploid in lower classes. And because of the fungi are haploid, generally the fungal plant body is haploid, the zygospore being diploid, they undergo meiosis and form haploid hyphae, right? Or haploid spores. That haploid spore germinate to form haploid mycelium or haploid hyphae. Got it? Right. Now, that's all about the sexual reproduction. Now comes to The classification of fungus. Classification of fungus. Fungi are classified into four classes: Zygomyces, MYCE, Zygomycetes or Zygomyces. Second, Ascomyces, Ascomycetes. Third one, Residuomyces. And fourth one is Deuteromyces. So what are the four classes of fungi? Zygomyces, or we can also say Phycomyces. These are also called Zygomyces or Phycomyces. Phycomyces. Phycomyces, Ascomyces, Residuomyces, Phycomyces or Zygomyces also called. That is another term. Zygomyces or Phycomyces. Second one is Ascomyces, second Residuomyces, and third, fourth one is Deuteromyces. Let me write some examples for this Phycomyces. Example of Phycomyces is Rhizopus. Rhizopus. Mucor, MUCOR. Ascomyces, yeast. Penicillium. Residuomyces, mushroom or Agaricus albugo. ALBUGO, Vaccinia, PUCCINA. Then another one, Agaricus. Many are there. Some examples you must study. Deuteromyces, always Alternaria. Alternaria Collectotrichum. Alternaria Collectotrichum. COLLECTOTRICHUM. Right. So there are four types of Phycomyces. Example Rhizopus. The notable feature of Phycomyces are the hyphae are branched and aseptate. Hyphae are branched, aseptate. Ascomyces, the hyphae are septate, branched and septate. Residuomyces, branched and septate hyphae. And Deuteromyces, that was also septate, but it is not described in that way because the Deuteromyces are exceptional and that will be studied at the end. So, Phycomyces, branched and septate. Phycomyces reproduce sexually by the formation of zygospore. ZYGOSPORE during sexual reproduction. They produce zygospore. As I told you, zygospore. Instead of zygote, they produce zygospore. And the zygospore remain in the air. That's why Rhizopus, bread mold, will remain in the air. The spores of the Rhizopus, that is zygospore. Or even after the zygospore divide by meiosis and form the original spore like what we call aplanospore or conidial spores. Any type of spore can be formed from zygospore. So zygospore is really similar to zygote in hair plants. Why they are called spore, I told you. Zygote is encircled by a thick cell wall and remain dormant and resistant spore. That's why zygote we call zygospore. When favorable condition comes, they divide and become normal spores like aplanospores, conidial spores. they will remain in the air for longer duration, and when favorable season comes, they will germinate and produce hyphae and mycelium. That's why when you keep a open bread, okay, for 2 days with bread, after 2 days you can see the rise of spores attached to it and germinate. Shoes and leather bags, leather items, they will develop the fungus. Because the spores are there in the air, they are resistant and thick wall, they can remain for longer duration. So Phycomyces, example, Rhizopus, mucor, they produce zygospore and be active for longer duration. Now, second one is Ascomyces, yeast and penicillium. Yeast is a unicellular fungus. Very important for fermentation process. Economically very important. Yeast. So Ascomyces are economically very important than Phycomyces. Phycomyces, most of them are disease causing or damage causing to humans. Phycomyces. Ascomyces, most of them are useful to humans. Yeast, we can say, they are using in making dosha idli and making duff. Then yeast fermentation, economically very important. 50% of the government revenue in many states are from the these beverages made by using yeast by the process of fermentation. Penicillium, very important. It is a fungi from which the first antibiotic penicillin produced. There are many types of penicillium fungus. Penicillium notatum, Penicillium chrysogenum. All these are penicillium species from which we can make antibiotic. It is very common, and it was produced during the Second World War by Alexander Fleming into 1929. Okay, so at the end of the First World War, I think, during the time of First World War only it was produced. It was discovered by Alexander Fleming. He's an American. So American soldiers were used to treat with this penicillin antibiotic, and it was saved thousands and lakhs of soldiers' life. So penicillium is the fungus from which penicillin antibiotic, first antibiotic, was discovered by Alexander Fleming. Now, Ascomyces reproduce by ascospores. Ascomyces, during sexual reproduction, Ascomyces produce ascospores. Ascospores in sac-like structure. This is a sac, SAC. Inside the sac-like structure, ascospores are formed by meiosis. So ascus means sac. Ascomyces, sac fungi. And the spores produced by these Ascomyces are called ascospores. Right? Right. We are coming to the next. Basidiomyces. Example, Vaccinia albugo agaricus. Basidiomyces are mixed in use and harm. Some of the Basidiomyces like albugo, Vaccinia cause many diseases in plants. Agaricus, no such disease, but economically they are edible. Agaricus, many types of agaricus, mushrooms, you can see that costlier food. So Basidiomyces are called Basidiomyces are called gill fungi. For example, agaricus produces gills, and you can see like ascus or sac, the basidium is also a spherical structure in which basidiospores are formed. What is this? Basidiospores. Basidiospores are formed in the. This is what is called the basidium is just like the sac. During sexual reproduction, they produce basidium, and inside the basidium, basidial spores are formed by meiosis. Okay, right, and they are very useful as well. Now Deuteromyces are special type of fungi. They are in this Deuteromyces, sexual stages are absent. Sexual stages are absent. Hence, Deuteromyces are called imperfect fungi. Imperfect fungi. Imperfect fungi. Why? Because sexual stages are absent. Sexual stages are absent. But in certain examples of Deuteromyces, the sexual stages are observed by scientists when they are shifted to Phygomyces. So Deuteromyces are fungi without the sexual stages. Hence they are called fungi imperfecti. And example Alternaria, Holotrotrichum, they also cause diseases in plants and animals. So these are the 4 classes of fungi. Phygomyces, example Rhizopus nuca, Ascomyces, East Bacillium, Bacillomyces, Albugo, then Deuteromyces, Alternaria, Holotrotrichum. Now we are coming to the 4th kingdom, that is kingdom Plantae. Kingdom Plantae, the notable feature of the kingdom Plantae is all are pigment bearing photosynthetic organism. Plantae, kingdom Plantae, I will tell faster. Kingdom Plantae includes all types of plants. Most of them are photosynthetic or autotrophs. Photosynthetic. Most of them are photosynthetic. Some are parasitic, like a Cuscuta, parasitic. Parasitic, like a Cuscuta. Again, some are insectivorous. Insectivorous. Insectivorous, like Venus flytrap, pitcher plant, etc. So these are the various groups of Plantae. Most of them are photosynthetic. Some are parasitic, some are insectivorous. Right. The notable feature of this kingdom Plantae is that they shows in their life cycle, you can see alternation of generation. Alternation of generation. What is alternation of generation? The two in the life cycle of these plants, 2 generations, that is gametophytic and sporophytic generation. Gametophytic and sporophytic generation alternate to each other. Gametophytic and sporophytic generation. 2 generations in the life cycle of plants. 2 generations, gametophytic and sporophytic generation. Sporophytic generation come alternate to each other, one after another. First gametophytic, second sporophytic, again gametophytic, then sporophytic. This type of life cycle is called alternation of generation. Only plants exhibit it. Now we are coming to the kingdom Animalia. Kingdom Animalia includes all animals. Animals are heterotrophs. Kingdom Animalia. Kingdom Animalia, all animals are heterotrophs. Okay? Right. Now in this Animalia, being heterotrophs, they show wide variety of nutritional habits. Some are holozoic, some are again parasitic. Parasitic animals are there. For example, leech, parasitic animal. Right? Then all animals are heterotrophs. All animals are heterotrophs. And the animal kingdom is again divided into 5 classes. Pisces. Pisces means fishes. Class fish. Second, amphibia. AMPHIBIA. third reptilia, fourth elves or birds, and fifth mammalia. So you will study the details in the fourth chapter, that is animal kingdom. Right? Now we are coming to the end of this chapter, that virus, viroids and lichens. Virus, viroids and lichen. Everybody studied the viruses are a special group of organisms showing living as well as non-living features. Special group of organisms. Special group. Why they are called a special group? They are neither included in the living kingdom or living world, or nor considered separately as non-living creature. They are in between living as well as non-living. So they are not included in any of the kingdom. Right? So viruses, they are special group, and viruses, the notable feature of virus is that the genetic material may be RNA or DNA. RNA or DNA. RNA, genetic material, for example, HIV, human immunovirus, RNA is the genetic material. Whereas DNA can be many virus, genetic material of many virus, like influenza or flu virus. Influenza or flu virus are DNA or genetic material. But whatever is the genetic material, the most successful thing for the survival of virus is that there is a protein coat around it, around the RNA or DNA, around the RNA or DNA or genetic material. Suppose this is RNA or DNA. And there is a protein coat. This is called a protein coat. This protein coat is called a capsid. CAPSID. This protein coat is very, very thick and resistant. Protein coat is made up of glycoproteins, glycolipids, complex components, complex organic substances. Okay, this capsid. In many forms, the capsid appears irregular and star shaped. You can see that the coronavirus, the capsid become simple projections like this on the surface. Like this. Okay? Coronavirus. But there is another virus, TMV, tobacco mosaic virus. Their protein coat is just like another scales of fishes. So each segment of this we call capsomere. Capsomere. This is tobacco mosaic virus. AIDS virus also, there are many viruses of different shades. T4 virus, T4, that is called the bacteriophage. You have seen in our classes. Bacteriophage. The protein coat is another one. This is the cross protein coat, hexagonal, polygonal. Inside that, the DNA or RNA is there. This is called the bacteriophage. So, the notable feature of the virus is that there is a protein coat, very thick, successful protein coat, which is made up of complex glycoproteins and glycolipids and many other complex organic substances that encircle the nuclear material outside the DNA or RNA. This capsid is the protein coat and made up of capsome here. This is the most successful point where the viruses survive in all climatic conditions. So, to make vaccines, first we have to remove the protein code. Once the virus enters the body, they produce what we call genetic material and multiply large number of genetic material. So it is this short duration that we must destroy the genetic material. Soon the genetic material multiplied, they produce the protein code and get protected. So it is very difficult to destroy the viruses with antibiotics and normal medicine. There is no medicine to kill the viruses so far. Okay, but other microbes like bacteria, fungi, protozoa, we have successful antibiotics or vaccines. There are vaccines against many viruses, but these vaccines, will remain inside our body as a resistant mechanism. Once the infection takes place later, our antibodies produced inside our body due to vaccination will successfully destroy the virus and bring. But as such, virus directly cannot be destroyed by any mechanism, okay, because of the capsid or the protein code. Now, so viruses are considered special group. Now, viroids. What is the difference? Viroids do not have a cell wall. The difference from virus is that virus do not have a cell wall or protein code. They cause diseases in protector like spindle tuber fiber diseases. Viroids are smaller than virus. So three difference from virus. Viroids are smaller than virus. They do not have a cell wall or protein code, and they produce a disease like protector spindle tuber disease. Now lichen, the last one. Lichen is the symbiotic association of algae and fungi. Algae and fungi. So this symbiotic association, algae synthesize food for the fungi. Algal component is called phycobiont. Phycobiont. And fungal component is called mycobiont. Phycology is the study of algae, mycology is the study of fungus. Phycobiont synthesize food for the fungus. Fungi being very tough texture due to pectin. Pectin in the cell wall, they give protection to algae. Such a symbiotic association is a mutual relationship in which algae and fungi live together in mutual benefit. Example, lichen. That's all today. Thank you.